Hello and welcome back to the Lore Raider. The other day, Smashburger created a video pitting Samus Aran against Pit from the Kid Icarus series. Now I know me and Smashburger have what you might call a rivalry. I mean, look at how close those subscriber numbers are, am I right guys? But honestly, sure, I still think there were some lowball moments, but largely they did a much better job in the Ridley vs. Link video. More importantly, I think they got the outcome right, even if I don't agree that it's a so-called close fight. Actually, I think it's pretty far. So if I'm not responding to them, then why am I mentioning them? Well, it reminded me that I haven't done a versus match with Samus in forever, so today, we'll be seeing if Samus Aran can clear the entire Star Wars universe before she runs out of different forms. Starting from her weakest feats to her strongest feats and doing the same for Star Wars. Why Star Wars? Well, after my Samus Aran vs. Slayer video, I think it became pretty clear to anyone with 5 brain cells that Metroid entirely outstrips Halo. So without further ado, let's get into it. Starting with Zero Suit Samus during the Metroid Zero Mission era. Now, as most of you know by now, Samus has pretty straightforward scaling here. She crash lands on planet Zebes, a planet with 960 times Earth gravity, followed by an explosion whilst taking 0 damage. This has been calced as a town-level durability feat. Her speed right off the bat is already extremely impressive at that, dodging the lightning spewed by the Chozo Ruin test, as well as more impressively reacting to and at times outrunning the true lasers fired by the space pirates aboard the pirate mothership. When we look back at Star Wars, Samus Aran is already stronger than your average galactic citizen, even high-tier bounty hunters. Really, at town level, you're already getting into the level of Force sensitives. Now, Star Wars canon, aka Disney canon, and Legends have different scaling, with the Legends continuity being far stronger. To give examples, Star Wars canon is pretty outgunned already. The majority of Force wielders being around the multi-city block level, with high tiers like Yoda being able to lift a living mountain with the Force, and other high tiers like Sidious, for example, should scale with that. With speed, Sith are very well known to use Force Lightning, with other trained Force users can react to consistently, so if you lowball Samus to lightning level, then they keep pace. What's more is, some might try to mention that the Force users have precognition, but so does Samus due to her Chozo DNA, therefore cancelling it out. Overall, Samus is physically stronger than most canon Jedi, but isn't top tier, and lightsabers being very much a durability negator, and the Force probably still fodderized her, so she cannot fodderize Star Wars at this time. Next is full power gravity suit Samus from Zero Mission up through her appearances in Prime 1. By now she's attained the power bomb, which have been consistently shown to be and are stated to be planet level, and even her bare body can take the damage, as we see with the likes of the Crystal Flash, or just casual use of the power bombs in general. Now with the suit, she also has the likes of the Screw Attack, so powerful that even Samus herself states she can't take the damage, and it has been consistently shown to have durability negating properties, along with the Speed Booster and Shine Spark, which greatly enhance her speed. If base Samus is light speed, then she is certainly faster than light by now. Going back to Star Wars, for Samus to invade by now, she has already outstripped Star Wars canon, period. Even Legends super weapon class ships like the Conqueror class Star Destroyers have attacks that cap at continental to multi-continental, and she can one-tap canon mountain level Yoda pretty easily right now. You could argue lightsabers and the Force are still an issue, especially in Legends, given Force users are actually capable of moving at light speed, like how Vader dodged a true laser fired from a droid, for example. Additionally, planet level is actually more than achievable for Force users in Legends. For example, Uriel Poof was able to overpower the Infant of Shaw, which is repeatedly stated to have the energy enough to blow apart planets, as stated multiple times. And Poof managed to overpower the artifact with his own Force abilities. Poof being significantly weaker than the likes of high tiers like Obi-Wan Kenobi and Anakin Skywalker's, and top tiers like Yoda or Darth Sidious. As such, Samus is likely to throw hands with these mid-level council users. However, she does have a chance of winning if she indeed can get a power bomb off, or achieve some sort of other wing con like the Ice Beam, which would freeze her opponents solid. but I still cannot say that she would solo Star Wars just yet. Moving on to Metroid Prime Hunters, Prime 2 and Prime 3, Prime Hunters is not useful for power scaling, because Guerrilla's scaling is weird in that game, but what's most important is that it establishes Samus's gunship can fly between galaxies, in this case the Tetra Galaxy, in mere seconds, or if you consider the later manga example to the Extreme Galaxy, in mere minutes. Samus without her speed booster can react to ships of these speeds that are amped by her speed booster, and can then destroy them with her weapon, so all parts of her scale to this. She can also consistently react to Ridley, who can outrace said gunships, as we see in Prime 1 and Super Metroid. This puts her in the billions to quadrillions of times speed of light category. In Prime 2, Samus has proven herself stronger than Dark Samus, and leaves Dark Samus so weakened she dissolves into mere particles. This near-death Dark Samus tanked the collapse of an alternate universe called Dark Aether, proving the status of a casually universal Dark Samus, and by extension a very casually universal Samus Aran, who's only getting stronger in Prime 3. By this point, going from planetary to universal, maybe even multiversal, depending on how you count it, is a massive jump in power. Basically, you have to go in Legends just to find beings that can compare. Beings like Abeloth, for example, is more of a fourth entity than a character. Depending on whatever statement you use from the books, she appears to be anywhere from a galaxy-level threat to a universe-level threat, vaguely. Luke Skywalker is blatantly a dozen times weaker than Abeloth, is even stated. So even if you want to highball some sort of universe-level Grandmaster Luke, he is still clearly weaker than casual Samus over here. Luke in 4th users of his level can move around black holes with the Force, so at least Samus' black hole BFR ability, which she has in Prime 3, is negated. However, considering Samus reacting to her own ship's faster-than-light capabilities, which exceeds Star Wars' faster-than-light capabilities by a lot, when have you seen them travel to another galaxy? You'd be hard-pressed to say the likes of Abeloth or Grandmaster Luke or even Dark Empire Sidious are keeping pace with this. Star Wars is pretty much down to the likes of the Bedlam Spirits and a few other high-level Force entities, which, don't get me wrong, they're cracked, a lot of hacks, they're very strong, easily universe level, maybe even a little higher depending on how you interpret the context around them. They're really good. However, Samus and Joy manga tells us Samus consistently gets 5 times stronger by simply becoming angry or even motivated enough to self-amp herself, let alone with the suit amps. And as such as when you do the math, inevitably Samus just kind of outstrips these characters. My favorite example of her amping is in Metroid Dread, when she's literally choked to death, she is dead. And then the whole meme of she's too angry to die kicks in, she comes back to life because she's too angry, and then beats the shit out of the guy who just killed her very easily. So it's a work of art. And she can hit these potentially intangible beings as well, as she consistently can hit ghosts in the Metroid universe with no difficulty, and later in the timeline, the intangible X-Parasites when using the Metroid suit. So in short, could Samus Aran solo Star Wars? Let's sum it up all, shall we? If Samus undergoes the same growth she did as she does in the canon games, then she remains a fairly powerful figure in Legends, and even at the beginning of Zero Mission when looking at Legends, and is objectively top tier when we look at Disney canon by a lot. She is hindered perhaps by how broken the Force is and can be ragdolled, especially by Force choke. Even in Dread we see that she has a hard time getting out of chokes. By Metroid Prime 1, Samus with her power bombs and suit abilities like the Shine Spark and Screw Attack has effectively outstripped Disney canon as a whole. But in Legends, she's now swapping hands with powerful adepts in leagues of the likes of Darth Nihilus for the 5th, Yariel Poof as we talked about earlier in the video, and Obi-Wan Kenobi, etc. But she falls short of true top tiers like Yoda, Grandmaster Luke, Darth Sidious, etc, etc, who should all scale to that black hole solar system level feat I mentioned earlier. By Metroid Prime Hunter, Samus has absolutely outsped the Star Wars verse by a lot. And by Prime 2, universe level Samus is matched only by God tiers, only if you really want to suck off Abeloth's supposed threat to the universe statements. And Samus likely just wins off the speed blitz anyway. By Super Metroids, the amps would have stacked up, and Samus should be able to simply soul of Earth in its totality.